and welcome back to another video. Today we're in the air seeder. We're going to be planting some cover crop or secondary crop, whatever you want to call it. Most likely we'll be swathing and baling it come spring next year, but we just barely finished harvesting our last field of peanuts. This is actually the big field, the 240 acre or 230 acre field. Finished it a couple of days ago. I sent the pivot around, watered 4/10 on it just to put a little bit of moisture back on the ground. So now I'm going to be planting this whole field today. I'm definitely not going to have enough wheat, but my brother is going to be bringing me more wheat, so that should be enough to finish it. And all of our peanut acres should have wheat planted on them, and all of our peanut acres are harvested. So peanut harvest is done. Now just on to cotton. There's quite a few acres still left there, but for today we're gonna go plant some wheat. We're wanting to put about 80 pounds to the acre down on here. So I like to use both tanks at the same time. In the past we've had issues where one tank will make a mistake and then there'll be a gap in wheat in the field. So we figure using both tanks at the same time, since the front tank is emptier, the front tank is doing about like 35 pounds an acre and the back tank is doing a little more than 40, 44, 43, give or take, something like that. So that way less chance of a mistake to happen. I just turned that handle there. That brings seed out to the back. So I'm just gonna check, make sure I see wheat lying on the ground everywhere, which I do. Yep, we are good. No clogs. At least that's what I check for anyway. And as far as moisture in the ground goes, good moisture. That's what I like to see. So we 4/10, that's what I watered on here. That was plenty in my opinion. Pivot started on this end. It's almost done. That's actually still watering. It'll be done in like 30 minutes or an hour or so. So it might be a little bit wet on that side. So it's a big field. I'll get to that in the evening. I'll starting a little bit of an angle just that way I can get some of that peanut hay kind of spread out. Doing a 170-degree angle compared to 180 to how we planted it. So I'll do that whole section there. That's still quite a bit. I can air seed at least like 150 acres before I'll move on to the wet stuff. So we should be fine. It's like a little bit dry on top, a little bit of dry soil, like 1/8 of an inch, but then right away is wet ground. So it's gonna look beautifully behind the air seeder. Just looking everything over. Everything looks fine. I'm gonna see if I can see anything wrong. Doesn't look like it. We've been recently switching over different sweeps. Got the quick connects on here. We're trying a couple of them out. Normally we used to do the bolt-on ones, but now we're trying a couple of these. Anytime there's one that's really badly worn out, been trying to switch them over to these. See if we like them, see what we think of them. So far, I like them. They're not bad. I thought they would probably be falling off by now, but nope, they're good to go. All right, everything checks out. Everything looks good. Let's go plant some wheat. My fan is supposed to be above 3,000. That's sitting there at 2,800. It's supposed to be at least like 3,200 for doing the amount of wheat per acre that we're doing. So it is still a little cold. That's why it's still so low. But I think for now, I'll just bump it up. I'll bump it up to 712 should be fine. At least get it close to 3,000, and whenever the hydraulic oil warms up, I'll have to keep an eye on it throughout the day, and then I'll turn it back down. If it's at least 3,000, yeah, we're good. We're at least right at 3,000. That should be good throughout the day. Once the hydraulic oil warms up, I'll turn it back down because I don't want it too high. It doesn't need to be too high, but it definitely needs to be around that 3,000 range. We'll see if almost a full tank will reach me all of this 230 acres. Going about 7 miles an hour. It's pulling actually pretty hard. I'm almost thinking I have it set too deep. I might put it like a round or two shallower, but I don't really feel like stopping in the middle of the field, because then I have to do a whole loop around to plant again. So I'm just gonna wait till I'm at that end. I'll take a look at how it's doing behind me. We've been air seeding quite a bit. This is only just the last day, so we're not getting any kinks worked out. It's been working fine, so I don't need to check right now. See how it's doing it back there, because it's doing fine on all the other fields. So I'll just wait till I get to the end, so I don't have to make my loop around the middle of the field to do whatever I missed. Since it takes a while for that wheat to actually get back there, you kind of want to start, if you stop here, you kind of want to start a little bit further back. That way you can for sure, or that way you know for sure you have everything planted. Definitely a lot wetter on this end. Yeah, that pivot's still going, but this looks good. Oh, a lot of this hay is getting incorporated into the ground. Yeah, it's all incorporated. I love that. Those spreaders did an amazing job, and it's gonna, all that hay being spread out a lot more evenly, that's gonna help out a lot with the wind blowing later. Yeah, and it looks good, but I can tell that I am definitely going too deep. So I'm gonna do a couple of rounds shallower, and then we'll be good to go. Leave counterclockwise. Let's do 1, let's do 3. There we go. Man, I could use that 8RX back, the one that we demoed a few years ago. That thing would be super nice over here. But no, this 370 can still do it. It just, now that I put it a little bit shallower, now I'm not using all the tractor's power. Now I'm kind of sitting at 1800. There on the other side of the field where it's a little wetter, there the tractor was still pulling 2000 RPM, so it was still struggling quite a bit, but it's not near as bad now that I put it a little bit shallower. I like to go at least 7 miles an hour. The faster the better, because it is also a cultivator. I feel like it flattens out a little bit better, and it spreads out that hay just a little bit more. The spreaders on the combines, they're not 100% perfect, but they're a million times better than what they were. This is way better than last year. Last year they were just, they made a big old mess behind the air seeder. It always wanted to leave piles of hay everywhere, and then swathing it later sucked too. That always wanted to clog everywhere. We wanted to cause issues. The wheat didn't want to cut off nicely as what it should have. So this is already a million times better than what it was last year. Doing just about 100 acres right now. This moves along a lot quicker than digging peanuts for sure. With 2 A-rows, you're able to get 120 acres, 140 acres done in a day. This 230 acres should be no problem. It should be easy doable in one day. Alright, I want to see how much wheat I got left after 120 acres. I'm expecting my back tank to be close to empty. And I was right. I am getting really close to empty, so I think I might just do one more round I want to be as empty as possible. Since this is the last field, I don't want to leave too much extra wheat in this air seeder over the winter. And my front tank is still about half full, so I might need to bump up the rate on this one. We'll see how many acres I have left after I do another round, the exact number, and I'll have to do the calculations to see exactly how much wheat I'm going to use. I don't exactly know how many pounds is in there, but I did want to get it as empty as possible to where I can calculate it as close as possible. So I'll make another round. I'll try to get that back tank as empty as possible, and then we'll go from there. Let's see how close we'll get. I put 5,000 pounds in my rear tank, and I added an extra 2,000 pounds in my front tank. If I did my math right, that should be really close to the end. I did calculate for 240 acres because I always do an extra 2 passes on the outside of the field, and that takes up quite a bit of acres. So I did account for that. So we'll see how close I'll be. We'll see if I'll need more seed, or if I'll have to have, or if I will have too much left in there. No telling till later. I hope I don't have too much left over. I'm hoping I'll have a little bit, because I don't really want to fill up seed again. That's gonna suck if I did my math wrong. But I guess only one way to find out. Yeah, I'm coming really close on diesel. Let's see. Done 205 acres so far, so I don't think I can last to the whole field. Let's see, should say here somewhere how much fuel I have left. All right, here it is. Let's see, fuel level 5%, time to empty, half an hour. Yeah, I'm going to be working for more than half an hour. So I'm definitely gonna have to go fill up fuel so I can actually fill up or finish this field. She's not liking me. I only got just a couple more passes to go here and I'll be done, and then I'll, of course, the outside of the field, which that always takes, that's gonna take at least an hour because it's such a long way around. It's gonna for sure take me an hour just to do the outside rows. So definitely not enough fuel for this one field. Bummer, but no worries. Fuel is on the way. While I'm plumb out of fuel, and while I'm waiting, might as well look over the air seeder again. Make sure everything's still good, everything's still looking good. I might even clean some of these roots off of here. A lot of roots that I was gonna get stuck, and I guess I don't know what that is. Maybe some weeds, maybe that's actually stuck on there. Might even clean off some of those. Whoa, that blade right there could actually not hurt to replace. Inside is actually still pretty good, but outside nice and thin. Sure has been doing a good job. It does slightly worse of a job on this end of the field. There's a lot more hay here, as you can tell, so it kind of wants to bunch up like this sometimes, which is fine. It's not too big of a deal. This is going to help with blowing in the future, but it still looks good. Still happy with the job that it's doing. You can tell it didn't quite spread far enough from the combine. And then here in the center, Got lots of leaves. Like I said, it's fine. Not a big deal. We did actually buy a land roller at the beginning of the year because we have some alfalfa that we kind of tend to now. And right now it's currently down south, that land roller. But come January, February, I don't know, something like that, we're gonna, we bought one specifically that can transport. So beginning of next year, once the wheat is a little bit taller, we're definitely gonna run that land roller over every single one of our wheat acres. Any wheat acre that we're wanting to swath and bale next year, oh yeah, we're for sure gonna run that land roller over it. That's gonna make swathing a million times better. Smooth, no bumps. Should flatten out this, because this is the only thing I am worried about with swathing. I don't want it to bunch up in the bottom of the swather, so if we can roll some of this down to where it's at least flat, and it will deteriorate some by the spring because it is incorporated some into the soil. Majority of it is anyway, especially like stuff like this. So it should be fine. Hopefully we don't have too big of an issue with swathing, but guess we'll find out when that time comes. Filled up and ready to go. And done with the straight rows. Now just time to do all the outside ones. Yeah, thankful for Circle Track. Got it matched up exactly how far the pivot waters to where no wheat goes wasted. Well, it just popped up. My front tank is almost empty. So now I'm gonna make the back tank do priority. I just need to do 2 more passes straight here along the pivot. Just gonna change rear tank to 8 pounds an acre. So I need to have my transmission at 69. So I'm still gonna use the front tank. I'm just gonna use it out, whatever's in there, because it's only whenever it pops up, you can tell it's like nearly empty. So I'm just gonna use that out, and then whenever it's all the way empty, then I'll turn it off, which I actually don't have that much left in my rear tank as well. So I might turn down the rate just a little bit, just to where I can for sure finish it. I'm actually surprised at how close I got that. I'm almost thinking about not changing it now, just so that I can actually finish it. No, I'll raise it up a little bit. I won't go 80 pounds. Then these 2 straight passes here, they won't have that much wheat on them. I mean, it should be fine. I'm almost thinking that's not going to be enough, so I'm just going to change it to like 60 pounds or something. Instead of putting the transmission at 69, I'll just put it like at 50, and then I'll see what it calls for in the cab. I'll just put it to halfway open, and I think that should last me for the rest of the field. Well, I had enough to finish the first pass, and I just checked. There's very little left in there, so hopefully it'll be enough to do this second pass. Luckily enough, the first time whenever I came up to here, I actually went further than I would have needed to. So some spots I don't actually need to do 2 passes. There's only a couple of spots that I didn't go far enough where I do need two passes. So even if I do run completely out of seed, it should be fine, because I'll have at least gotten majority of it. So right here is like the first spot here that I didn't go far enough. So if little spots like that don't get wheat, that'll be a little disappointing, but I feel like it'll be fine. I think these there's 2 spots right here. They're the worst ones where I didn't go far enough. But after that, I stayed pretty consistently to the edge. So I did cut it way too close though with how much wheat I put in. I should have just put a little bit extra in there. I don't know why I did. I just should have. Yep, both tanks are now empty, or at least that's what the computer says. Yeah, it sure looks empty. I'm gonna check up here. So I actually cut that really close. I actually barely made it to the end. There's like a handful in there, but I don't think that feeds in there very well. I think that's as empty as what we're actually gonna get it. And that one had so slightly left in there. It was also basically empty. So nice, I like it. It actually came out perfect. So the last two passes didn't get 80 pounds to the acre, but good enough to where that's definitely going to be a very big cover. Plus, you know, as I was going at the angle, I actually went pretty far out. So a lot of those spots is those spots, because it doesn't have section control, so a lot of those spots will actually have like 120, 130 pounds to the acre, give or take. So it's actually quite a bit. So we're golden. We're done with our cover crop, and we're done with peanuts for the year. And let's see the final counter. Let's see how close I was. 241 acres. That's how much I planted. That's what I was assuming. Like I said, the field is only like, or this half is only like 223 or 225 acres, give or take. I figured I was gonna plant about 240, so 241. Man, I actually got close. I actually impressed myself. And that air seeder is done for the year. Love it. Man, that's exciting. I don't think we've ever had all of our cover crops in this early before. It's the end of October. Last year we were done harvesting peanuts November 21st, I believe. And only at the end of November, almost I think the December 1st, we were still air seeding. We were still planting our cover crops after peanuts. So the fact that we have it done this early, that is awesome. That we still got a little bit of heat. Monday was actually, I think it was Monday. No, it was not Monday. It was like Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. It was recorded, I think, the highest it has ever been since like 1940s or something. We still had like 95, 98 degree day. It was hot that day. It was very, very hot. And you know that with water and that amount of heat, this wheat is growing fast. So if we do have a crazy windstorm and a lot of wind like we had a couple of years ago, then this is definitely going to help out a lot. That wheat's going to grow nice and tall, and nothing's going to blow like it did a few years ago. So praying, hoping for no wind, but this is definitely going to help out a lot having it done this early. I'm very happy about it. Next video, we're actually headed down south and we're going to start harvesting some cotton. It's that time of year. Pickers are already going. I don't think the strippers have done anything yet besides maybe a couple of end rows, but starting Monday, today's actually Saturday, starting Monday, it's go time with the cotton stripper. So time to get that cotton in. But as for this video, as always, I do appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.